Hey everyone, welcome back to In the Alley. My name is Cody. Glad you guys are back for another video. It is time to recap the Indoor Football League Cup, the championship game, the consolation game, and everything in between, which there wasn't any because there's only 2 games. So, without further ado, we need to go take a look at that third place game, and then we take a look at the championship right after. Alright, so we need to talk about the third place game here between Orlando and New Mexico, and oh, buddy, we need to have a talk about New Mexico, man, because it's not looking good for them. But we started off with Orlando receiving the kickoff, and a nice place to start. Really good place to start for Orlando here, and they get an early third down. Thomas Owens catches for a 1st and goal. Motion handoff for Ja'Kai Douglas down inside the 1 now. The broadcast did say that, and I don't remember if I wrote it down or not, that Puka Williams was suited up to play, but he was not either going to play or wasn't going to play in the first couple of drives. I don't know if he got into the game at all. Kind of looking at the stats here, I don't think he was. I think it was a coach's decision to hold him out. So Ja'Kai Douglas, is going to bear the load at the running game. Either way, high snap over De Laurent's head, and he just throws it up there. Nyquan Murray has it. Somehow, he works it into the 1, and they avoid some disaster for a 3rd and goal. Motion handoff right side. Murray walks it in to cap off the drive, so what could have been disaster turns into a touchdown. Extra point, though, no good. 6-0 Orlando. 3rd down pass, and Isaiah Crocker is crushed by Jay Person. However, it is a 1st down conversion for New Mexico on their opening drive. Chupacabras then go 3 and out after that. Offense goes for it on 4th down. Rubidu's pass is caught, and Orlando forces a fumble. Destin Mack has the recovery. He returns it to the New Mexico side of the field. Next drive, pressure on De Laurent. He floats a pass to the end zone. It's a nice pass breakup for Kaiwan McCray, but a flag on New Mexico move Orlando closer. Zig route for Douglas. He races into the end zone on that reception. Extra point is good. 13-0 Pirates. James White has a shifty run. New Mexico trying to go tempo a little bit. Rubidu's pass is tipped. It's intercepted by DJ Daniel going along the wall. Just bad to worse, man. Deep pass for Nyquan Murray for a 1st down, and we end the first quarter with the Pirates up 2 scores. De Laurent to Murray in the end zone. It is a touchdown. Extra point is good. 20-0 in favor of the Pirates. Screen pass to Isaiah Crocker. New Mexico is out to midfield. Oh, man. Harrison Rubidu has a pass slip out of his hand, losing a bunch of yards, yet he still recovers the fumble. It's 3rd and 25 upcoming. Rubidu's pass throws away. Flag on Orlando. It's going to give them a new set of downs. So, it could have been something completely horrible. Turns out to be a 1st down. Over the middle throw to Arthur Jackson. He's into the Arizona. He's into the Orlando territory with a 1st down. 3rd down pass is tipped away, nearly intercepted again by Orlando. Chupacabras send Ben Derby out for a field goal. It's good. New Mexico gets on the board. It's 20-3. Next drive for Orlando, just run-of-the-mill, very methodical, working it down the field. They get inside the New Mexico 5 for a 1st and goal. Speed option to the left side, pitch out to Douglas. He has touchdown at number 2 on the day. It is 27-3. New Mexico needing something, anything here at this point. I don't know if they can get anything going, though, as we hit the 1-minute warning. And eventually it's 4th down, pressure. Rubidu is sacked. Orlando takes over, 1st and goal with 38 seconds remaining. 2 pass breakups by New Mexico brings up a 4th and goal for Orlando. Offense staying out there. De Laurent throws an interception before the half. It's Cameron Bright who picks him off. Derby comes out for a field goal. High snap kick is not even close. It's 27-3. Orlando's leading at the half. Start the second half for New Mexico. Donovan Portieri is into the game at quarterback. And then a nice run for James White going to the right side for a 1st down to the Orlando 15. More running from White, a face mask on Orlando. It's 1st and goal from the Orlando 2. And then Portieri, RPO keeper right side, he dives in for the score. He attack on the 2-point conversion. It's 27-11 as New Mexico trying to mount some sort of comeback. Next drive, 1st drive of the second half for Orlando. 3rd and long for the Pirates. De Laurent heaves one to the end zone. Nyquan Murray comes back for it, hauls it in. It is a touchdown. They answer right back, 34-11. Decent return for Greg Dent sets up New Mexico with decent field position. Chupacabras putting together a nice drive. They get 1st downs and get into the Orlando 11. Orlando has 2 pass breakups of their own, forcing a 4th and goal from the 16. Pass is knocked away once more, and the Pirates take over. Motion handoff left side. Tio Reddy makes his presence felt down the sideline of the Mexico 17. De Laurent nearly picked off. There's been a lot of that from both teams in this one as we head to the fourth quarter. What a one-handed catch for Ja'Kai Douglas on third down, but it doesn't move the chains. Mata, new kicker, comes on for a field goal at the bad snap, makes it no good. Chupacabras need a miracle themselves, but they do get the ball to try and do something here. Portieri is sacked at the 2-yard line. Third down already upcoming. Crocker has a catch, not even close to the first, and they got to go for it or not. Ben Derby's coming out for a very, very sad field goal. You're down by that much. I don't know. Either way, it's no good. It flips the field. It just sad. James Blackman's in at quarterback now for the Pirates. Deep shot to Naquan Murray draws a flag. It gives the Pirates extra yards and a first down. Bad snap goes over Blackman's head as he tries to get rid of it. He hits a cameraman. Pirates called for intentional grounding. Third down, underhand pass to Douglas to gain some yards. Still brings up a 4th and 13. The offense is going to go for it. Blackman scrambles ahead. Does he have enough? He does not. It's a turnover on downs, and New Mexico gets the ball. And then New Mexico proceeds to go 4 and out on their drive, and turnover on downs. They give it right back to Orlando. A couple of plays moves the Pirates inside the New Mexico 10 as we hit the 1-minute warning. And then a pass back at the end zone grab for Tio Redding, and he comes down with it against the wall. It is a touchdown for Orlando, 41-11. Kickoff goes to the Chupacabras with a couple of plays that drain the clock out, and they end it. And a lot of pain and suffering these last 2 weeks. Orlando takes the consolation game. They finish third here with our double elimination IFL Cup, whatever you want to call it. Either way, they take the victory 41-11. The Pirates win. All right, taking a look at the stats on the screen in front of us, and I do it a lot. I've done it a lot in New Mexico games in the last month. New Mexico scored 11 total points. Orlando scored 13 in the first quarter. They scored 14 in the second quarter. Orlando didn't even need to play 3 quarters of this game, and they would have won. It's just insane. Man, I don't know. And obviously, we've seen the issues that New Mexico has had throughout this season. Somehow they miraculously got a win. And in the first couple of weeks of the season, they played some close games. And in the last month, they've gotten blown out every single time. So anything that was new or game filmed or whatever has been completely exposed by this team. Orlando, no different when it comes to this. They blew them out of the water. Game leaders on the left side here. Donovan Portieri, he didn't even start the game. He is your leading passer. 5 for 13, 39 passing yards total in this. Well, not total, but for him. No touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, not trying to bring like a somber note to this man, but it's just, what else can you say about this team? There's something that absolutely needs to get fixed. We know Jerome Johnson is gone. Where's that spark offensively? Where's the defense here? I'm not sure. LaJames White, 13 carries, 42 yards, no touchdowns. And Isaiah Crocker, 7 catches for 53 yards. I don't know, man. I don't really know what fix there is for New Mexico. And you look at the Orlando side, we'll talk about them. For the Pirates, 11 of 19 for Paxton De Laurent, 140 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He did throw the 1 interception. I mean, it's not the most accurate, but you didn't really need to be in this one. You just, you did what you need to do to come out of there with a victory, and that's exactly it. Even more so, your rushing leader, Tio Redding, 1 rush for 17 yards, no touchdowns. They didn't really run the ball too much, and again, that's kind of been an issue / not, because you know what the receiving core is for this team, and they did get a couple of rushes again. Puka Williams being kind of sidelined, coach's decision, whatever it could be. So they had to, kind of pick up the slack somewhere else with all the wide receivers that they had. Receiving leader is Naquan Murray, 7 catches, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, just throw it up there. He's going to come down with it. I know Owens had a couple of catches. Douglas had a touchdown catch. I think Tio Redding had a touchdown catch. So all in all, the passing game working as much as it could for Paxton De Laurent and James Blackman. So that's where you have it. Taking a look at the team stats on the right side here. Third down worked really well for the Pirates, not so much for New Mexico if those stats are correct, and then just abysmal on fourth down. Couldn't complete a fourth down to save their lives, according to the stats here. 77 total yards, and I think I said in the previous recap that Northern Arizona's rushing attack and everything was really bad, and we've seen some negatives. This is bad, man. New Mexico has not really been putting up stats. They were one of the teams that's put up negative rushing yards, if I'm not mistaken. 20 rushing yards, 57 passing yards. And the rushing is one thing, but 57 passing yards. 57, and that's it. That is it. I mean, James Blackman, the backup quarterback, threw 4 completions. He had almost more passing yards than New Mexico did total. He played like 2 or 3 series. That's it, man. It's insane. I don't know what's going on with New Mexico. This is bad. It's very, very bad. If you are a Chupacabras fan, I'm sorry, but I don't really have anything like nice or constructive to say, because what is there to say? It just really sucks. On the Orlando side, you got to give credit where it's due. They did have their defense finally stop a team, but at the same time, it's New Mexico. What's going to go on for the rest of the season when it comes to Orlando, I don't know. But this is a nice feather in their cap, a nice win. They will take it, obviously, compared to what they did against Vegas. So what can you have there? Again, when you look at those stats on the right side, rushing, Orlando leads it. Passing, Orlando leads it. Yes, Derby did hit a field goal, but they trot him out there a couple of times. And I wonder what that kid's morale is like, just knowing that they've trotted him out for so many long field goals and so many sad field goals where it's just like, all right, go out there and miss it. It sucks, man. It really does. Penalties, I can believe those penalties. I don't think there were too many called in this one, but that seems about right. And then turnovers, 2-1 in favor of Orlando winning the turnover battle. That's where we kind of have it with that. Taking a look at the defensive leaders for New Mexico, just 1 sack, 1.5 tackles for a loss, which kind of weird. And then 1 interception and 3 pass breakups. So Marvin Pierre had a sack, which should be a tackle for a loss, but it's not registered. Damon Street has a tackle for a loss, and Luke Kelly has half a tackle for a loss. So I don't know where the tackle for a loss from Marvin Pierre comes in if he has a sack, but okay. Cam Bright with the 1 interception, and then Jacius Clark and Gleason Sprewell with the pass breakups. Greg Dent is your leading tackler with 5, and then Wes Bowers after that with 4. To the Orlando side, they had 2 total sacks, but 4 players had half a sack. So Person, Allen, Hector Johnson, and Deontay Anderson all had half a sack. 6.5 total tackles for a loss. Brevin Allen had 3.5. Deontay Anderson had 1.5, and Jay Person had 1. 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery by Destin Mack, 1 interception by DJ Daniel, and 5 total pass breakups. Jay Person, one hell of a game for him. 4 solo tackles, 3 assisted for a total of 5.5. Half a sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 pass breakup. And then Destin Mack, 3 tackles, 3 assisted for a total of 4.5. 1 fumble recovery, 1 pass breakup. So pretty good day for him, all things considered. But that's where we have it with this, guys. It's just... it's not a good day if you're a New Mexico Chupacabra fan, and a pretty good day if you are an Orlando Pirate fan. So with that, we don't have any bets. DraftKings didn't put out any lines, so we're not going to go with any of that. We will just venture right in to recap number 2, the championship game of the IFL Cup. All right, we need to talk about the IFL Cup championship game. And what a game it was, baby. A nice back and forth affair. Arizona playing really well, and then Vegas just kind of taking it to them there. So let's dive in with our recap. Arizona starts the game with the ball. Drew Powell is your starting quarterback. He starts off with a run, and a Ron Brown decleats Ian McBurrow. It was a nice little block there to spring Drew Powell for a nice little run. Quack. As until Clifton Duck rips the ball away from Drew Powell, recovers a fumble, and Vegas takes over. Vegas moving on this drive until a false start pushes them back a little bit, and then wide open spaces, not the song by the Dixie Chicks, but Jaden DeLora here, he takes off up the field and slides shy of the Arizona 10. Not much doing after that, though. Vegas faces a third down. DeLora rolls out, pass is tipped, almost picked, and falls incomplete. Gabe Rui is on for a field goal, and it is good, and we start the scoring with a Vegas 3-0 lead. Drew Powell gets sacked. Arizona facing a 3rd and long, but they're going to challenge an illegal defense. And the challenge works for Arizona, as it's not a sack after all, and they get 5 free yards. Vegas just kind of living in Arizona's backfield right now. They are getting some tackles for a loss. They are kind of, getting there, no gains, whatever it could be. They're on the prowl right now. Powell gets some time, though. He throws left side end zone. Arlen Bruce breaks from his defender, and he is wide open in there for the touchdown. It is 7-3 in favor of Arizona. And then the Rattlers hit a couple of penalties to give Vegas some free yards. Josh Tomas with a nice rush on 3rd and 1. DeLora lofts to the end zone. It's Randolph, because Of course it is. Touchdown, Vegas. 10-7, they take the lead. Ron Brown with a big return to get Arizona going. Drew Powell with a rush to end the first quarter. And then they can't convert third down coming out of the second quarter. Arizona's going to go for it on 4th and 2. Powell with a quick pass to Bruce. They convert it, first down. Ron Brown left side rush. He goes untouched on his way for 6 points. It's 14-10 as Arizona regains the lead. More flags, though, on the Rattlers. It's offsides. It gives a first down to Vegas. And then, play action. Jaden DeLora throws over the middle. Randolph has a catch, tries to hurdle. The ball pops out, and Vegas recovers. But a Vegas flag will negate the entire play. Arizona flag, RPO handoff, Josh Tomas left sideline, and away he goes. Touchdown, Vegas. What a run for Josh Tomas. It is 17-14 as Vegas goes back up, but not for long. Ron Brown has a kick return touchdown. Psych, you thought he did. Holding will negate it. Of course it does, because every time there's something cool that happens, there's always a flag. Never mind. Bruce with a snag to the Vegas 6. Powell with an RPO keeper up the middle for a few plays. And then a few plays later, gives Arizona another score. 21-17, Arizona retakes the lead with a Drew Powell touchdown rush. Jalen Lore's pass is tipped in the line of scrimmage. Carson Taylor dives and he picks it off. Apparently he's not a touchdown either. He gets up and he scores. So it's a pick 6 in that, kind of grand scheme of things here. Extra point is blocked. It is 27-17 at the 1 minute warning. And I think there was like a challenge and all of this stuff that was going on and whether or not it was incomplete. But regardless, it is a touchdown. Pressure on third down. Jaden DeLora goes down for a safety in the end zone. And suddenly it is 29-17 as Arizona, they increase their lead. We get some chippiness going. John Pius is ejected for headbutting. Arizona loses a defensive lineman for the rest of the game. And Hayden Hatcher will have to play on the defensive line. He was the linebacker, but they move him down there. And then Don Willis is the linebacker for the Rattlers. And then eventually they're going to have to, deal with all that. Powell to Bruce into Vegas territory with 17 seconds left in the half. And then Powell to Trey Odoms Dukes to the Vegas 5. 9 seconds remain. And then you have one timeout and you're running it. Why? Powell gains a couple, 4 seconds left. Snap is dropped. Vegas recovers to end the half. To never mind, there's 1 second left. And then Jaden DeLora launches a Hail Mary that goes incomplete. And we hit halftime with the same score, 29-17. Arizona leading by 12. Coming out of the second half, Matthew Cook hits a deuce to start it. It's 31-17 as the Rattlers go up 2 scores here by 14. Avon Rucker in at quarterback for Vegas. Okay. We didn't. 2 things. One, I didn't realize that Avon Rucker was left-handed until this point. He's been playing in like the third and fourth quarters of certain games. I didn't realize that. We have so many left-handed quarterbacks in the IFL, and I love it as a fellow lefty. But the broadcast will say, I'll get to it in a second. Okay, never mind. I'm jumping ahead of the gun. Arizona gets Vegas into 4th down, but roughing the passer gets an auto first down and out of the end zone area. And DeLora is out of the game because of an illness, according to Jason Fitz. Tomas is stuffed on 3rd down, and then a 4th and 1. Avon Rucker's pass is incomplete as Arizona takes over. 3rd and long, Powell runs out of time. Billy Martin brings him down for a sack, and the Rattlers are letting Vegas hang around here. Cook on to try a long field goal. It's no good. Tomas returns to the 16-yard line. Add a face mask to that, and Vegas starts on the Arizona side. And then more MIAA talk on the broadcast. Emporia State getting a shout-out from Brent Stover. I love it. I know he's a K-State guy, but the more you can rep the MIAA, baby, I love it. Go Pitt. Jaden DeLora goes into the game now. He heaves a deep one. Tomas leaps, and he has it at the 1. Kind of a bad throw. It doesn't matter. Randolph snares it on a slant. Touchdown Vegas, and they are right back in this 31-24. The lead is cut in half. Powell throws over the middle. Pass gets tipped. Fred Flavors intercepts it off of the tip, and he goes inside the Arizona 5 for a 1st and goal. Vegas is a score away from tying it. Mike Brown gets hurt on the play, and that's the offensive lineman for Arizona. I think the broadcast said that he needed a stretcher when they came back from commercial. I'm not sure. And then Jaden DeLora escapes pressure, takes off left side, and snakes his way into the end zone. No pun intended there because it's a different team. We are tied at 31. So with Mike Brown going out, Arizona's going to need to use a defensive lineman as an offensive lineman, and then they already have a defensive lineman who's ejected. So you got someone playing double duty. That's going to hurt. Unsportsmanlike on Arizona on the kick return, of the Rattlers just shooting themselves in the foot. 3rd and long for the Rattlers. Powell to Clark to gain some yards. It's 4th down upcoming, however. Miscommunication on the pass. Powell throws an interception. It is Joe Fouché, and the Nighthawks are feeling it. Even so, one play, one touchdown. Delora to Deshaun Stoudemire as the Nighthawks, they take the lead 38-31, and I think that was their first lead since 3-0, or maybe 10-7 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Max Myler goes into the game at quarterback for Arizona, and then a motion handoff to the right side. Ron Brown gets the edge, and he turns on the turbo boosters. 24-yard rushing touchdown. We are tied back up at 38. And then a nice kick return for Josh Tomas on the ensuing kick. More Arizona penalties. Defensive pass interference is called, and it gives new downs and some yards to the Nighthawks. Vegas challenges for illegal defense, and they win it. And then the 3rd and 7, Carson Taylor blowing up the backfield with a huge play and a huge tackle for a loss, making it 4th down. Rui comes on for a field goal. It is good again. It's 41-38 as Vegas breaks the tie. Myler takes a shot. He's able to get it to Kamani Clark, but it's 4th and 2, and then Myler's pass falls incomplete, and Vegas takes over. Yasan McKee tries to jump a route. Deshaun Stoudemire says nope, catches and turns upfield inside the Arizona 15 as time is ticking down. Tomas goes left side and goes down to the Arizona 4 for a 1st and goal. Under 2 minutes to play here. Motion, jet sweep, handoff. Deshaun Stoudemire, he will take it in. Vegas goes up by 10, 48-38. Ron Brown kick return goes all the way to the Vegas 5 as we hit the 1-minute warning. And then out of the 1-minute warning, pass complete, no touchdown, time ticking. Myler does it himself next play and scores. 2-point try is no good. It's 48-44. Arizona needs the onside kick, and then Arizona recovers the onside kick, but a flag. It is a low block on Arizona, and I just don't see it. I don't think Curtis Riggs saw it on the replay or anything in the broadcast. There's no flag on that. Arizona should have recovered that. Either way, we have to re-kick, and we will. Vegas recovers that onside kick, and then Vegas gets Arizona to use all of their timeouts. They gain enough of the positive yardage, and the Vegas Nighthawks have won the inaugural IFL Cup at the American Dream Mall 48-44. All right, we need to take a look at the stats in front of us, and it's a comeback. It's one hell of a comeback for Vegas, and yeah, you can blame the refs. Yes, you can blame the injuries. Yes, you can do all that. Arizona has plenty of excuses to go around, but at the end of the day, Vegas was just the better team. Yes, you had a defensive lineman playing offensive line. You had a player get ejected, and I hate to be that guy. I was like, well, just don't have a player get ejected then. And yeah, you still have to have a guy playing 2 different ways, but it's a little bit better in that sense, right? So maybe they'd only have to play one way with Hayden Hatcher playing on the defensive line and won't have to go back and forth. Either way, that's not the reason why they lost. They lost because they let Vegas hang around. They couldn't capitalize. They got stuffed on 3rd downs. They got stuffed on 4th downs. They just didn't convert when it mattered, especially late in the game. Taking a look at the game leaders on the left side here. Drew Powell, 8 of 16 for 96 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And I think I remember hearing from a group chat, I think it was TJ from Shady Sports, I think said something where it's like, hey, why is Max Myler in right now? And I think the coordinator said, because Drew sucks right now. So that might have been why Max Myler got into the game. So take that with a grain of salt, but that's what I heard over the chat. Either way, only 50%, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns to just 1 interception. He just didn't get it done. And Max Myler had to come in. He didn't really do too much better. He only completed 2 passes. And by that time, it was pretty much done. Ron Brown, your leading rusher, 2 carries for 27 yards. And that was something that was pretty big in this one. Vegas kind of shut down the running game of Arizona. And they, like I said earlier in the recap portion, they were kind of living in the backfield. They were blowing up running plays and things like that. It's like they've played before. But yeah, Ron Brown, your leading rusher, with only 2 carries. He did have 2 touchdowns, but 2 carries, and that's it. So Arlen Bruce, 4 catches, 59 yards, 1 receiving touchdown. Again, there's not much you can really say about it, but at the same time, the offense of Arizona started out really strong and then just kind of sputtered. And when Vegas started to stand tall, you were hoping someone would step up on offense, and no one really did. So much so they had to bring in your backup quarterback. You had to bring in Kaimani Clark in a sense. I know he was playing sparingly, but you're just trying to find that spark, and Arizona just couldn't do that after Cook hit a deuce to start the second half. And then after that, it's just they couldn't really get it going. To the Vegas side, 7 of 16 for Jaden DeLore, and this is the other thing about Arizona. On a day where Vegas is not playing 100%, they still beat you. What does that tell you about Vegas? Now, that's not a knock on Arizona, but that's something that you can take away from Vegas is Jaden DeLore did not have a good game. He actually was just as bad as Powell. Yes, he had more touchdowns, but he was less accurate by only 2 yards. He only had 2 more yards, 2 passing. So, yes, he was battling an illness, but on a chance where you could catch Vegas on an off day, Arizona couldn't capitalize on it. And you got to kick yourself if you're a Rattlers fan. Josh Tomas, 12 carries, 59 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. Again, just like when they played Orlando, at some points it was just lean on Josh Tomas, hit that spam Josh Tomas button, especially after the defensive line ejection. And then you have the offensive line injury where it's like, all right, you've got a player playing both ways. You're going to try and run at him and get him even more tired. And it kind of worked a little bit. Deshaun Stoudemire, 4 receptions, 48 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. Again, kind of resembling the same thing as Arlen Bruce, but at the same time, making it kind of count when it mattered most there with the 1 play, 1 touchdown to Stoudemire later in the game. So, again, what can you do? Third down, neither team really that good. And I don't necessarily believe that Vegas only had 5 first downs because I feel like they were playing a lot better. But what can you do, as in the second half at least? Total yards favored Vegas. A lot of defense in this one. Points were still scored, but when you look at those offensive numbers, neither team 200 yards plus. So kind of crazy to think that some can get 300 on certain games and these guys couldn't crack 200. Again, not too much when it comes to the passing, only 10 yards of difference. And again, look at those numbers. They're pretty similar, all things considered. Rushing, it favors Vegas again. I mean, 24 extra yards. They did rush it a little bit more, but again, when you know the circumstances, you know they're going to go right at that defensive lineman who's playing both ways. Kicking, I mean, you had the deuce from Arizona, but that's only 2 points, and you got 2 field goals from Gabriel Rui. So again, you're adding 6 points right there. That's kind of the deciding factor if Rui is truly that guy. So kudos to that. And then if this is accurate, which I don't think enough penalty flags are thrown when it comes to these stats. If this is accurate and Arizona had 16 penalties for 114 yards, ooh, buddy. Oh, buddy. That might be the most of the entire season, and you have to be absolutely pissed if you are Kevin Guy and the coaching staff. If that is true that you had 114 penalty yards, got a player ejected, I get that. But yeah, just the mental mistakes, man, the defensive pass interferences, the false starts, the offsides, whatever it could be, the illegal defenses, blah, 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 just undisciplined, and Vegas was able to capitalize. Turnovers, 3 turnovers, and again, just more of those mental mistakes. 2 interceptions to 1 lost fumble by Drew Powell early on in the game, and it kind of set the tone. Taking a look at the defensive stats here for Arizona, they did have 2 sacks. They had 6.5 tackles for a loss. They had the 1 interception by Carson Taylor that did turn into a touchdown, and then 2 total pass breakups, both by Carl DeCius, which again, if you look at that, Arizona scored 44 points. 1 was a pick 6, and then they had a deuce. So if you include 9 points, you take those out, they only scored, 35 points? That's not going to cut it against Vegas, who is able to come back on offense is what I meant. Yasan McKee is your leading tackler for Arizona, 6 solo tackles, no assisted, and Carson Taylor tied with him, 5 solo tackles, 2 assisted for a total of 6. To the Vegas side of things, 1 sack by Lorenzo Hernandez. They did have 3.5 tackles for a loss, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery by Clifton Duck, and 2 interceptions, 1 by Joe Fouché and 1 by Fred Flavors. Your leading tackler is Ian McBurrow with 3 solo and 5 assisted for a total of 5.5. And then Terry Roberts with the same 4 solo tackles, 3 assisted for a total of 5.5. McBurrow did have a tackle for a loss. Kevon Bennett had 2 tackles for a loss. And that's kind of where we leave it with this one. Vegas, just the better team. They didn't start out that way, but they didn't let anything get behind them. And where you needed to put foot on throat, Arizona didn't. And Vegas, they did. They said, all right, if you're going to not kill us, we'll kill you, man. And they just kind of came out, delivered that kill shot, and they lifted some hardware. So And that's where we have it with this, man. We don't have a bet to go off of from DraftKings, so let's go take a look at the standings, piece those together, and then we'll wrap up and get out of here. All right, taking a look at the standings as they are on the screen in front of us here, and it's still crazy to think that we have 3 teams over halfway through this season with just 1 loss. And then you look at it, we have 3 teams more than halfway through the season with just 1 win. So there's a lot of parity to kind of go around here as you're starting to see things shape up in the Eastern and the Western conferences. In the East, it is starting to look like that 4-team race. If Tulsa and Quad City can really start to get things going and maybe make some noise, whether it's Fishers or Orlando, you need them to drop games, because right now I'm not going to necessarily say that they're locks yet, but Green Bay and Jacksonville looking damn close to lock territory when it comes to the playoffs here. If they win a couple more games, then we get to week 15, week 16, they're probably going to clinch in no time at all. And then it's up to Orlando and Fishers on if they want to win some games of their own and create that separation between Tulsa and Quad City, or if Iowa can even start to try and make some sort of run. But their season might be closer to the end than it is towards the playoffs. Taking a look at the Western side of things, and again, as we've said in every standings update, it's a 3-team race up there. San Diego jumps Arizona with Arizona losing. So temporarily right now, San Diego is the 2 seed, and they would host Arizona if the playoffs happened today. San Antonio would travel to Vegas, but do not count out Tucson, as they obviously got Jerome Johnson over the week. And San Antonio has dropped 2 after winning 3 in a row. So whoever wants that 4th spot, it is clearly up for grabs. So much so that even New Mexico and Northern Arizona are not out of it. But at the same time, New Mexico's dropped 5 in a row. Tucson's dropped 4 in a row, so they clearly don't want it. San Antonio's lost 2 in a row. They clearly don't want it. So maybe you just do 2 versus 3, and the winner has the 1 seed has a bye week for the West. I don't know, but all kidding aside, it's shaping up to be one hell of a fight for that 4th and final playoff spot, and even so much so between San Diego, Arizona, and potentially Vegas on who's going to host the playoff games, because if Vegas starts to run away with things, as it looks like they're going to, they've won 7 in a row, it might come down to San Diego and Arizona on who's going to host that first-round playoff game where those 2 teams could meet, and we'll see how that kind of tapers off here. Looking through the rest of the standings, Jacksonville's undefeated in the conference, and Vegas is undefeated in the conference. Looking at points for and points against, man, there's a lot of teams that still have not scored 300 points in this season. A lot of them, again, under 500 teams: Iowa, San Antonio, Tucson, and New Mexico. And a lot of teams: Iowa, Quad City, Fishers, Orlando, they've given up 400-plus points on defense. So a lot to exploit there in that Eastern Conference in the terms of, hey, let's start getting some overs here if Fishers, Orlando, Quad City, and Iowa all play, because it looks like they're going to give up some points. A lot of teams still undefeated at home: Green Bay, Jacksonville, Orlando, Vegas, San Diego, and Arizona, all undefeated at home. And there are just a couple winless teams on the road: Quad City, Iowa, New Mexico, and Northern Arizona. So all those teams searching for their first road win. Believe it or not, there's only a couple of teams that are over 500 on the road. Green Bay and Jacksonville, some good road warriors right there. Vegas 2-1, and San Antonio 2-1. The Strike Force and Fishers 2-2, so they're right there with a chance to go over 500 on the road. And then we look at our streaks: Green Bay, winners of 5 in a row; Jacksonville, winners of 6; and Vegas, winners of 7. On the flip side, we've got New Mexico losing 5, Tucson losing 4, and then Fishers losing 3 in a row. So everything's shaping up nice and tidy with all of that, clear as mud, as they say. So with all of that, we've got our standings and everything out of the way that you see right there. Let's wrap everything up. Let's get out of here. And that is it for our recap of the Indoor Football League Cup. That is our final recap of Week 11. As we venture into Week 12, we'll have the preview for San Antonio and Green Bay up in no time at all. And we venture into Week 12 already as we start getting things underway with that. All 14 teams are playing. We got 7 games, 1 on Friday, 4 on Saturday, and then 2 on Sunday. So we also have a flex. If you're, well, I don't want to put this. If you're new to it, in the sense of you're watching this like 30, 40 minutes deep and this is your first video, congratulations, thank you for watching. But if you didn't know that there's already a flexed game, Quad City and Vegas has been announced as the primetime game on Sunday night for Yahoo Sports, and they've moved New Mexico and San Diego up to the 4 o'clock spot to have our doubleheader on Sunday. Because I think when the schedule was announced, we only had one Sunday game with New Mexico and San Diego. That has now changed. So if you didn't know that, now you do. But that's where we're going to leave it, guys. That's all we have for Week 11. The Indoor Football League has come and gone, and now we start ratcheting things up for the Indoor Football League playoffs and everything along those lines. So with that, I'm going to take off here. Guys, I love and appreciate you. If you want to like, comment, share, subscribe, great. If you don't, that's great too. But I will catch you guys in all of the previews and recaps for Week 12 as we start to get that underway, and we just go from there. So I'll catch you guys in those videos. Until then, see ya.